Trafficking is in every country in the world, but we also know that Southeast Asia is a hub for trafficking. We've seen that recently in the ILO's own statistics on forced labour, with more than 50% of forced labour cases happening in Southeast Asia. Look, I think there's many reasons why slavery happens. There's economic factors, there's people needing to move for poverty, whether it's for a health crisis or being deceived about an opportunity overseas. There's many reasons why people fall victim to trafficking and slavery.
In the Philippines, what's the most shocking trafficking story you've heard?
Every story I hear. One of the worst, well, I mean, they're all terrible, but one story that really sticks with me is of a young Filipino woman recruited in Manila to come to Australia, to come to my own country.
For what?
She knew she would be coming here to work as a domestic worker. Coming to Australia to work as a domestic worker. But when she got to Australia, she was actually picked up by the man who had recruited her, sexually assaulted, taken back to the family home, put to work effectively as a slave for a very long period of time. She was in her early 20s when she first came to Australia. So she remained in that situation for quite some time until she could escape. The first time she escaped, she had nowhere to go, she had no money, she had no passport, she didn't speak the language. She literally walked around this country town in outback Australia until the trafficker drove around and found her and took her back to his house. So eventually she managed to escape from this situation with the assistance of his estranged daughter. So, I mean, I think that gives you an indication of the kind of man he was. So I'm happy to say that Mr. Kovacs and his wife, Mrs. Kovacs, were actually prosecuted in Australia under our slavery laws for treating a Filipino woman this way.
How do you feel about cases like this?
Sometimes I despair that I don't understand how someone could treat another person as if they are a piece of property. I don't understand, but the challenge we have is how can we make it unthinkable for anybody to behave like that? You and I, we know it is not okay, but some people seem to think it's a normal way to be.
How do we address this problem?
I think shifting attitude is really important. One of our mantras is that we want to make slavery not just criminal, but we want to make it pathological, so that everywhere people cannot tolerate, cannot stand idly by, cannot just turn a blind eye when human trafficking and slavery happens.
What does it mean when you say we want it to be pathological?
To be so socially unacceptable that any woman who sees her husband treating another person like that would ring the psychiatric ward. You know, they would not just ring the police, they would think their husband had gone crazy. I mean, really, we're really very serious about this. It's not just that it's breaking the law, it's morally wrong and repugnant. I think there are some situations around the world where the exploitation of people is so common that it's almost normal. It's almost normal in some contexts for domestic workers to be not paid or to have their wages held away from them for 3 years, or for them to be beaten or sexually assaulted. That's not okay. We've got to change that, and criminal laws are not enough.
So what programs do you implement?
Well, here in the Philippines, we're really proud to be working with Visayan Forum on their campaign for the ratification of ILO 189, because that is fundamentally about shifting attitudes and shifting the way that people think about domestic workers.
In schools, in churches, what do you need to do?
One of the most important things people can do is learn about this problem, learn that it really does happen in their own backyard, learn to identify the warning signs, so that if they see this problem happening in their community, they'll know to go and get help for the people who need it the most. I'm an eternal optimist. I take great hope from the fact that there are many people who see terrible things happening and they passionately stand up and defend the rights of other people, like Cecilia with the Visayan Forum. I take great hope from people like her and the force of other people getting behind great people like herself.
And then, shifting to the action points. Our audience are composed of young people.
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah, rappers, singers, are mostly young.
Great.
And we use social media a lot.
Great.
How can people like your help?
Oh, please go to our website. Go to www.walkfree.org. We have a great new petition that has just gone live. In 24 hours, we've had 23,000 signatures globally on our petition calling on the Philippines to ratify the ILO Convention on Domestic Workers. So please tweet it, Facebook it, spread it around, stick it up on your own websites. We'd love you to join us. The power of social media is, of course, as your viewers know, is to bring large numbers of people behind really important issues and to do it quickly. So in 24 hours, we can gather 23,000 people. We can't do that, in a meeting hall or in a community centre. But we can bring together literally people who care about this issue in Australia, people who care about it in the United States, people who care about it in the Philippines. And we can say, we care about what you're doing and we're here to support you.
Last question. As human beings, why should we care?
We have to care. It's our humanity to care about other people, to ensure that everybody has a fair go.